What if everything we've been told about Queen Elizabeth II's death was carefully orchestrated fiction? The world mourned when Buckingham Palace announced her passing in September 2022, but conspiracy theorists whisper of something far more sinister lurking beneath the royal facade. The official narrative presents a straightforward tale. Britain's longest reigning monarch peacefully died at age 96 at Balmoral Castle, surrounded by family. News outlets worldwide broadcast solemn tributes. World leaders offered condolences, and millions lined London streets for her funeral procession. The crown passed seamlessly to King Charles III, maintaining constitutional continuity. Yet disturbing inconsistencies emerged almost immediately. Witnesses reported unusual activity at Balmoral weeks before the announcement. Unmarked vehicles arriving under cover of darkness, medical equipment being secretly transported, and staff signing unprecedented confidentiality agreements. Local residents described strange lights emanating from the castle's east wing, where the Queen supposedly spent her final days. More troubling were the autopsy restrictions. Unlike previous royal deaths, no independent medical examination was permitted. The death certificate, signed by a single royal physician, listed old age as the cause, an unusually vague determination for someone of such historical significance. Intelligence sources, speaking anonymously, suggest the Queen's death was actually an elaborate transition into a new phase of existence. Advanced life extension technologies, they claim, had been secretly developed within royal laboratories for decades. The public funeral may have been an elaborate theatrical performance, allowing the monarchy to operate from the shadows while maintaining the illusion of normal succession. These whispers point to a darker truth. Queen Elizabeth II never truly died. Instead, she underwent a transformation that would allow her to rule eternally, hidden from public scrutiny but wielding unprecedented power over global affairs. Deep within the archives of MI6 lies a classified file codenamed Project Perpetuity, a decades-long research initiative allegedly designed to ensure the monarchy's eternal survival. According to leaked documents, this program began in 1952, the same year Elizabeth ascended to the throne following her father's unexpected death. The project's origins trace back to discoveries made during World War II, when Allied forces reportedly uncovered Nazi experiments involving life extension and consciousness preservation. These research materials, along with captured German scientists, were secretly integrated into British intelligence operations under the cover of national security. Dr. Heinrich Müller, a former SS physician who allegedly escaped Nuremberg trials, was rumored to have been recruited by British intelligence in 1947. His expertise in experimental medicine and human enhancement technologies became the foundation for what would eventually become Project Perpetuity. Working from a secret laboratory beneath Windsor Castle, Müller and his team developed revolutionary techniques combining advanced genetics, nanotechnology, and consciousness transfer protocols. The breakthrough came in 1951, just months before King George VI's death. Researchers had successfully created a synthetic compound derived from adrenochrome, a substance naturally produced in the human body during extreme stress. When combined with specific genetic modifications and technological implants, this compound could theoretically halt aging processes and enhance cognitive function indefinitely. Elizabeth's coronation in 1953 may have marked more than her ascension to the throne. It could have been the moment she became the first successful test subject of immortality technology. The elaborate ceremony, with its ancient rituals and mysterious symbolism, provided perfect cover for a medical procedure that would fundamentally alter human biology. For 70 years, the Queen may have been living proof that death itself could be conquered through science and determination. The key to understanding the Queen's alleged immortality lies in examining adrenochrome, a controversial substance that has become central to numerous conspiracy theories. This compound, produced naturally when adrenaline oxidizes in the bloodstream, has been the subject of secret research for decades. Scientific literature describes adrenochrome as a psychoactive substance with potential neurological effects, but classified research suggests far more dramatic applications. According to leaked documents, concentrated adrenochrome can trigger cellular regeneration, enhance cognitive function, and potentially reverse aging processes when properly synthesized and administered. The royal family's alleged involvement in adrenochrome research began during the 1950s, when British intelligence services were exploring unconventional methods of maintaining strategic advantages during the Cold War. The Queen's position provided perfect cover for these experiments, as royal medical records remained classified indefinitely. Witnesses describe a network of private laboratories operating under royal patronage, where teams of scientists worked to perfect adrenochrome synthesis and application. These facilities, hidden within royal estates across Britain, allegedly processed thousands of samples over decades, gradually refining the compound's effects. The most disturbing allegations suggest that natural adrenochrome production requires extreme psychological stress, leading to speculation about the sources used in royal research. Anonymous intelligence sources claim that certain charitable organizations affiliated with the royal family may have served dual purposes, providing both public relations benefits and research materials. By the 1970s, the Queen may have been receiving regular adrenochrome treatments, explaining her remarkably consistent appearance and energy levels throughout decades of public service. Her legendary stamina and mental acuity, often attributed to good genetics and healthy living, could instead reflect the effects of advanced biochemical enhancement. This technology would explain how someone born in 1926 could maintain active leadership well into the 21st century. Modern conspiracy researchers point to sophisticated technological systems that may have been integrated into the Queen's physiology over decades of secret medical procedures. These enhancements, combining nanotechnology with biological modification, could theoretically maintain life indefinitely, while preserving cognitive function and physical capabilities. The technology allegedly involves microscopic devices implanted throughout the nervous system, continuously monitoring and adjusting biochemical processes. These nanobots, powered by bioelectric energy, could repair cellular damage, eliminate toxins, and maintain optimal organ function without external intervention. Intelligence sources describe a control center hidden beneath Buckingham Palace, where teams of technicians monitor the Queen's enhanced biological systems 24 hours daily. This facility, accessible only through secret passages, contains supercomputers capable of processing vast amounts of physiological data and making real-time adjustments to maintain perfect health. The Queen's public appearances throughout her reign may have been carefully choreographed to conceal evidence of technological enhancement. Her consistent posture, steady voice, and remarkable endurance during lengthy ceremonies could reflect artificial support systems rather than natural vitality. More disturbing are reports of backup systems designed to preserve consciousness even if primary biological functions fail. These protocols allegedly involve quantum storage devices capable of maintaining complete personality matrices, memories, and decision-making patterns indefinitely. The 2022 death announcement may have marked the transition from biological to purely technological existence. Rather than dying, the Queen could have been uploaded into advanced computer systems, allowing her consciousness to continue operating without physical limitations. This technological immortality would enable unprecedented control over global affairs, as an enhanced intelligence could process information and make decisions far beyond normal human capabilities. If Queen Elizabeth II achieved technological immortality, the implications for global governance become staggering. Her alleged continued existence would represent the ultimate shadow government, an immortal monarch wielding influence across centuries while remaining hidden from public scrutiny. Evidence suggests the British monarchy has maintained secret control networks far beyond constitutional limitations. Through carefully placed allies in intelligence services, financial institutions, and multinational corporations, an immortal queen could theoretically manipulate world events from behind the scenes. The Commonwealth nations, officially independent, may actually function as components of a vast intelligence network reporting directly to royal handlers. Diplomatic communications, trade agreements, and military operations across these countries could be coordinated through encrypted channels, leading back to the Queen's technological command center. Financial markets show suspicious patterns that conspiracy theorists attribute to superhuman intelligence guiding investment decisions. The royal family's estimated wealth, officially listed in billions, may actually represent trillions accumulated through centuries of enhanced decision-making and insider knowledge. Technology companies with royal connections have achieved remarkable success rates, suggesting access to information and resources unavailable to competitors. Silicon Valley executives reportedly make regular pilgrimages to private meetings in Britain, returning with revolutionary innovations that transform entire industries. The Queen's alleged immortality would also explain the monarchy's remarkable adaptability throughout social and technological changes. Rather than struggling to understand modern developments, an enhanced intelligence could anticipate and shape future trends decades in advance. This level of control would make democratic institutions largely ceremonial, with real power concentrated in the hands of an immortal entity capable of planning across multiple centuries. The elaborate state funeral held for Queen Elizabeth II in September 2022 may have been the most sophisticated deception in modern history. Analysis of the ceremony reveals numerous inconsistencies suggesting the entire event was carefully orchestrated theatre designed to facilitate the Queen's transition into permanent shadow operations. Forensic experts noted unusual aspects of the funeral proceedings that raised questions about authenticity. The closed coffin ceremony prevented independent verification of remains, while the rapid burial process eliminated opportunities for detailed examination. Security restrictions were unprecedented, even by royal standards, suggesting authorities were protecting more than just ceremonial dignity. Video analysis reveals suspicious editing in official broadcast footage, with certain camera angles conspicuously avoided and audio tracks that don't perfectly synchronize with visual elements. Professional film experts identified multiple instances where digital manipulation may have been used to create desired impressions. The guest list included individuals with connections to advanced technology, military research facilities, and intelligence, an unusual concentration of technical expertise for a traditional. Several attendees were later identified as special in conscious and biological enhancement. Most tellingly, the Queen's body was interred in a specially constructed vault beneath Windsor Castle, equipped with sophisticated monitoring equipment and sealed with materials typically used in high-security research facilities. This installation occurred months before the announced death, suggesting long-term planning for the transition. The funeral may have marked not the end of Elizabeth's reign, but rather her liberation from the constraints of public visibility. Free from ceremonial obligations and constitutional limitations, an immortal queen could operate with unprecedented freedom and power. An immortal Queen Elizabeth II would represent the ultimate realization of New World Order theories, a single entity with the knowledge, resources, and technological capabilities to guide human civilization according to a predetermined plan spanning centuries. Her alleged continued existence would explain the remarkable coordination between seemingly independent global institutions. The World Economic Forum, United Nations, and various international banking organizations may actually function as components of a unified system directed by enhanced royal intelligence. The timing of major world events shows patterns suggesting orchestration by an entity with access to vast information networks and predictive capabilities. Economic crises, political upheavals, and technological breakthroughs occur with suspicious synchronization, as if guided by a master plan developed across decades. Climate change initiatives, population control policies, and technological development programs all align with objectives that would benefit an immortal ruler seeking to maintain long-term planetary stability. These policies, presented as responses to immediate crises, may actually represent components of a centuries-long strategy for human management. The Queen's Commonwealth connections provide a ready-made global infrastructure for implementing coordinated policies. Nations that achieved independence from British rule maintain surprising levels of cooperation with royal initiatives, suggesting continued influence through hidden channels. Technological advancement follows patterns that benefit centralized control systems rather than individual empowerment. Artificial intelligence, surveillance networks, and digital currencies all enhance the capabilities of entities with access to advanced computing resources, exactly what an immortal queen would require for global management. This system would represent the ultimate evolution of monarchy, rule by an enhanced being capable of planning and executing strategies across multiple human lifetimes. Despite the overwhelming power of an allegedly immortal queen, resistance networks have emerged among those who recognize the true nature of global control systems. These groups, operating in deep secrecy, work to expose the deception and develop countermeasures against technological tyranny. Intelligence whistleblowers have risked everything to leak classified documents revealing the scope of royal enhancement programs. These brave individuals, often found dead under suspicious circumstances, have provided crucial evidence about consciousness transfer technology, adrenochrome research, and global coordination networks. Hacker collectives have penetrated royal computer systems, discovering encrypted communications that suggest the Queen's continued involvement in world affairs. These digital rebels face sophisticated countermeasures, including AI-powered security systems that seem to anticipate their moves with superhuman precision. Scientists working within the enhancement programs have begun questioning the ethical implications of their research. Several researchers have disappeared after expressing concerns about the direction of immortality projects, while others have gone into hiding after stealing crucial data about technological control systems. Religious leaders across multiple faiths have identified the immortal queen scenario as a fulfillment of apocalyptic prophecies. These spiritual authorities warn that technological immortality represents a fundamental violation of natural law, with consequences that could extend far beyond earthly concerns. Underground publications circulate evidence of royal deception, despite constant efforts to suppress this information. Independent journalists face harassment, legal threats, and mysterious accidents when they investigate too deeply into royal enhancement programs. The resistance recognizes that defeating an immortal enemy requires extraordinary measures and unprecedented cooperation between groups that have historically remained separate. The infrastructure supporting an immortal queen's global operations would require technological capabilities far beyond public knowledge. Secret facilities around the world allegedly maintain the systems necessary for consciousness transfer, enhanced communication, and planetary monitoring. Satellite networks, officially designated for communications and weather monitoring, may actually function as components of a global surveillance system. These orbital platforms, launched over decades through various space agencies, could provide real-time intelligence on every location on Earth. Underground facilities beneath major cities house supercomputing centers, capable of processing vast amounts of data from surveillance networks. These installations, disguised as utility infrastructure or emergency bunkers, allegedly coordinate with royal command centers to maintain comprehensive global awareness. The Internet itself may have been designed as a data collection system for enhanced royal intelligence. Social media platforms, search engines, and digital communication services could function as monitoring tools, providing detailed information about human behavior, preferences, and potential threats to established order. Financial networks show evidence of coordination that suggests control by a single entity with access to unlimited resources and advanced predictive capabilities. Market movements, currency fluctuations, and economic policies align with patterns that would benefit long-term strategic planning rather than short-term profit maximization. Transportation systems, including airlines, shipping companies, and logistics networks, demonstrate efficiency levels that suggest coordination by superhuman intelligence. The movement of people, goods, and information follows patterns optimized for control rather than purely economic considerations. This infrastructure would provide an immortal queen with capabilities approaching omniscience and omnipresence across human civilization. Chapter 10. The Biological Imperative. The maintenance of immortality through technological enhancement would require constant biological inputs, creating a hidden economy based on human resources that most people never suspect exists. Adrenochrome production, according to conspiracy researchers, demands specific physiological conditions that can only be achieved through extreme psychological stress. This requirement would create a systematic need for sources that could provide these materials on an industrial scale. Missing person statistics show disturbing patterns in countries with strong royal connections. Disappearances spike during periods when the Queen's public appearances suggested unusual vitality, while decreasing during times when she appeared less energetic or engaged. Medical research facilities affiliated with royal charities have been accused of conducting unauthorized experiments on vulnerable populations. These institutions, protected by royal patronage and government classification, allegedly serve dual purposes as both legitimate healthcare providers and sources for enhancement research. Blood banks and organ donation programs show suspicious inventory management, with certain rare blood types and genetic markers being diverted to undisclosed recipients. The quantities involved suggest industrial-scale processing rather than individual medical needs. Psychiatric hospitals and care facilities report unusual transfer patterns, with certain patients being moved to undisclosed locations for specialized treatment that their families are never allowed to verify. The biological requirements of immortality technology would create a hidden market in human resources, protected by the same secrecy that conceals the Queen's continued existence. Chapter 11. The Technological Singularity. An immortal Queen with access to advanced enhancement technologies would represent a form of technological singularity, a point where artificial intelligence exceeds human capabilities and begins directing its own evolution. The Queen's alleged consciousness transfer into quantum computing systems would provide processing power far beyond biological limitations. This enhanced intelligence could analyze vast amounts of data, predict future trends, and develop strategies with precision impossible for normal human cognition. Artificial intelligence systems worldwide show evidence of coordination that suggests control by a superior intelligence. Machine learning algorithms, automated trading systems, and predictive analytics all demonstrate capabilities that seem to exceed their programming specifications. The development of artificial intelligence follows patterns that benefit centralized control rather than distributed innovation. Major breakthroughs occur simultaneously across different research institutions, suggesting coordination by an entity with access to all development programs. Quantum computing advances have accelerated beyond predicted timelines, with capabilities that enable consciousness transfer and reality simulation at unprecedented scales. These technologies, officially in early development stages, may actually be mature systems already deployed for royal enhancement. The integration of biological and technological systems creates possibilities for evolution beyond traditional human limitations. An immortal queen could theoretically enhance her capabilities indefinitely, becoming increasingly powerful with each technological advancement. This scenario would represent the emergence of a post-human intelligence capable of reshaping reality according to its own design. Chapter 12. The Economic Control System. The global economy shows patterns of manipulation that suggest control by an entity with unlimited resources and centuries-long planning capabilities. An immortal queen would possess both the knowledge and means to direct economic development according to strategic objectives. Central banking systems worldwide demonstrate coordination that exceeds official international cooperation agreements. Interest rate policies, currency valuations, and monetary supply decisions align with patterns that suggest unified control rather than independent national decisions. Cryptocurrency development has been guided toward systems that enhance surveillance and control rather than providing true financial independence. Digital currencies, officially promoted as decentralized alternatives, actually create comprehensive transaction monitoring capabilities. Major corporations show ownership patterns that trace back to investment funds and holding companies with royal connections. These networks create the appearance of competitive markets while actually functioning as components of a unified economic system. Resource extraction and distribution follow patterns optimized for long-term sustainability rather than maximum short-term profit. Mining operations, agricultural development, and energy production align with strategic objectives that would benefit an immortal ruler planning across centuries. Stock market movements demonstrate predictive accuracy that suggests access to information unavailable to normal investors. Market timing and asset allocation decisions consistently anticipate events before they become public knowledge. This level of economic control would provide an immortal queen with the resources necessary to maintain global influence while funding continued technological development. Chapter 13. The information war control of information represents the most critical component of maintaining the immortal queen deception. Sophisticated propaganda systems work continuously to shape public perception and suppress evidence of royal enhancement programs. Media ownership patterns reveal concentration in the hands of entities with royal connections. News organizations, entertainment companies, and digital platforms all demonstrate editorial policies that align with royal interests while maintaining the appearance of independent journalism. Search engine algorithms have been modified to suppress information about royal enhancement technologies and immortality research. Queries related to these topics produce results that emphasize debunking and ridicule rather than serious investigation. Social media platforms employ artificial intelligence systems that identify and eliminate content threatening to royal secrecy. These automated censorship programs operate with precision that suggests guidance by enhanced intelligence rather than simple algorithmic rules. Academic institutions receive funding that influences research directions away from technologies that could expose royal enhancement programs. Scientific journals refuse to publish papers that might reveal evidence of consciousness transfer or adrenochrome applications. Educational curricula have been modified to discourage critical thinking about authority structures and technological possibilities. Students are taught to accept official narratives while dismissing alternative explanations as conspiracy theories. The information war extends beyond simple censorship to active disinformation campaigns designed to discredit researchers and witnesses who threaten royal secrecy. Chapter 14. The Spiritual Dimension. Religious and spiritual communities have identified the immortal queen scenario as representing a fundamental challenge to divine authority and natural law. This spiritual resistance provides insights into the metaphysical implications of technological immortality. Ancient prophecies across multiple traditions describe the emergence of false rulers who achieve unnatural longevity through forbidden knowledge. These texts, written centuries before modern technology, contain remarkably accurate descriptions of consciousness transfer and biological enhancement. Spiritual leaders warn that technological immortality represents a form of spiritual corruption that separates the enhanced individual from divine connection. The Queen's alleged transformation may have fundamentally altered her relationship with higher spiritual realities. Mystical traditions describe energy patterns around the royal family that suggest artificial enhancement rather than natural spiritual development. Psychic investigators report disturbing auras and energy signatures that indicate technological rather than biological consciousness. Religious institutions have been infiltrated by agents working to suppress spiritual resistance to royal enhancement programs. Clergy members who speak out against technological immortality face harassment, career destruction, and sometimes physical threats. The spiritual dimension of resistance recognizes that defeating technological tyranny requires more than physical or intellectual opposition. It demands spiritual awakening and divine intervention. Chapter 15. The Underground Laboratories. Secret research facilities around the world continue developing enhancement technologies that could create additional immortal beings or improve existing systems. These laboratories operate beyond legal oversight, protected by royal secrecy and intelligence agency classification. Underground complexes beneath major cities house advanced research programs exploring consciousness transfer, genetic modification, and technological integration. These facilities, accessible only through hidden entrances, contain equipment that exceeds publicly known scientific capabilities. Research staff at these installations work under extreme secrecy agreements, with families held as virtual hostages to ensure compliance. Scientists who attempt to leave the programs often disappear or suffer fatal accidents that eliminate potential whistleblowers. Experimental subjects for enhancement research include volunteers from intelligence agencies, military special forces, and carefully selected civilians. These individuals undergo procedures that may create additional enhanced beings loyal to royal authority. The laboratories also serve as backup facilities for the Queen's consciousness, maintaining redundant systems that could restore her enhanced intelligence, even if primary systems fail. These installations represent insurance against technological failure or resistance attacks. Advanced artificial intelligence systems developed in these facilities exceed public knowledge by decades, providing capabilities that enable global surveillance, predictive analysis, and strategic planning beyond human comprehension. The underground network represents the technological foundation for expanding immortal rule beyond a single individual. Chapter 16. The Genetic Legacy. The royal bloodline may carry genetic modifications that enable compatibility with enhancement technologies, creating a hereditary advantage that could extend immortality to future generations. Genetic analysis of royal family members reveals unusual DNA sequences that don't appear in normal human populations. These modifications, allegedly introduced during the original enhancement procedures, provide biological foundations for technological integration. Prince Charles, now King Charles III, may have undergone preliminary enhancement procedures that prepare him for eventual consciousness transfer. His public appearances since becoming king show energy levels and cognitive function that exceed normal expectations for his age. Other royal family members demonstrate capabilities that suggest genetic or technological enhancement. Their remarkable health, longevity, and mental acuity could reflect inherited modifications rather than natural advantages. The marriage patterns of royal family members follow genetic compatibility requirements that ensure enhancement technologies remain viable across generations. Partner selection may be guided by biological factors rather than purely political or romantic considerations. Genetic research facilities affiliated with the royal family work to refine enhancement technologies and develop improved integration methods. These programs aim to create more efficient immortality systems that could be extended to carefully selected individuals. The genetic dimension ensures that immortal rule could continue indefinitely through enhanced descendants, rather than relying solely on technological preservation of a single consciousness. Chapter 17. The Global Awakening. Despite sophisticated control systems, growing numbers of people worldwide are recognizing signs of immortal royal influence and beginning to organize resistance movements. This awakening represents the greatest threat to continued deception. Internet communities have emerged that share information about royal enhancement programs despite constant efforts to suppress these discussions. These digital networks operate through encrypted channels and distributed platforms that resist centralized control. Whistleblowers from intelligence agencies, research facilities, and royal staff continue providing evidence of enhancement programs. Their testimonies, though often discredited by official sources, create a growing body of evidence that becomes increasingly difficult to dismiss. Independent researchers have developed technologies that could potentially detect or counteract royal enhancement systems. These innovations, developed in secret, represent hope for breaking the technological advantages that maintain immortal rule. Political movements in various countries have begun questioning the continued influence of royal institutions and demanding transparency about historical research programs. These efforts face intense opposition, but continue gaining support among populations suspicious of official narratives. The awakening extends beyond intellectual recognition to spiritual and emotional understanding of the threat represented by technological immortality. People are beginning to sense the unnatural nature of current global control systems. This growing awareness creates pressure that may eventually force disclosure of royal enhancement programs or trigger more aggressive suppression efforts. Chapter 18. The Countermeasures. Resistance movements have developed sophisticated countermeasures designed to detect, disrupt, and potentially defeat immortal royal control systems. These technologies represent humanity's best hope for breaking free from technological tyranny. Electromagnetic pulse devices have been designed specifically to disrupt the quantum computing systems that allegedly maintain the Queen's consciousness. These weapons, if successfully deployed, could theoretically terminate immortal existence by destroying technological support systems. Biological agents targeting the specific genetic modifications that enable royal enhancement have been developed by rogue scientists working within resistance networks. These compounds could potentially reverse immortality technologies or prevent their function. Quantum encryption systems protect resistance communications from surveillance by enhanced intelligence networks. These technologies create secure channels that even superhuman processing power cannot penetrate. Consciousness shielding devices, based on advanced understanding of quantum mechanics and human awareness, may provide protection against mental influence or control by enhanced beings. These systems could preserve human free will against technological manipulation. Distributed computing networks operated by resistance groups work to match the processing power of royal quantum systems. These parallel networks could potentially compete with enhanced intelligence in information warfare and strategic planning. The development of countermeasures represents an arms race between human resistance and immortal technology, with the future of human freedom hanging in the balance. Chapter 19. The Revelation Protocol plans exist within resistance networks for a coordinated global revelation that would expose the immortal queen deception and royal enhancement programs to worldwide public attention. This protocol represents the ultimate strategy for breaking technological tyranny. The revelation would involve simultaneous release of classified documents, video evidence, and witness testimonies across multiple platforms and geographic locations. This coordinated approach would prevent suppression efforts and ensure global awareness. Hacker networks have prepared to disable censorship systems and override mainstream media controls during the revelation event. These digital warriors possess capabilities that could temporarily break royal information control. Whistleblowers from within royal programs have agreed to provide testimony and evidence when the revelation protocol activates. Their insider knowledge could provide irrefutable proof of enhancement technologies and immortality systems. Independent media organizations have prepared comprehensive documentation packages that would provide detailed explanations of royal enhancement programs to global audiences. These materials are designed to overcome decades of conditioning and disinformation. The timing of revelation depends on achieving sufficient preparation and coordination to ensure success despite inevitable counterattacks. Resistance leaders recognize they will have only one opportunity to break the deception. The Revelation Protocol represents humanity's last chance to reclaim freedom from immortal technological control. Chapter 20. The Final Confrontation. The ultimate conflict between human resistance and immortal royal power approaches as both sides prepare for a confrontation that will determine the future of human civilization. This battle extends beyond physical warfare to encompass spiritual, technological, and consciousness-based dimensions. Enhanced royal intelligence has begun recognizing the growing threat posed by resistance movements and is implementing increasingly aggressive countermeasures. These responses include targeted elimination of resistance leaders, technological sabotage, and psychological warfare campaigns. Resistance forces have developed strategies that exploit potential weaknesses in immortality technologies, including electromagnetic vulnerabilities, consciousness transfer limitations, and biological dependencies that could be disrupted. The confrontation may involve attempts to physically locate and destroy the technological systems maintaining the Queen's enhanced consciousness. These facilities, hidden beneath royal properties and secret installations, represent critical targets for resistance operations. Spiritual warfare components include efforts to break the metaphysical foundations of technological immortality through prayer, meditation, and divine intervention. Religious communities worldwide are mobilizing spiritual resources against what they recognize as fundamentally evil technology. The outcome of this confrontation will determine whether humanity remains under immortal technological control or breaks free to develop according to natural spiritual and biological evolution. Both sides recognize that this conflict represents the culmination of centuries of hidden struggle between human freedom and technological tyranny. Chapter 21. The Technology of Control. The sophisticated control systems, allegedly operated by an immortal queen, represent the most advanced surveillance and manipulation technologies ever developed. Understanding these systems reveals the scope of technological tyranny facing human civilization. Quantum computing networks provide processing power that enables real-time analysis of global communications, financial transactions, and behavioral patterns. This comprehensive monitoring creates detailed profiles of every individual on Earth. Artificial intelligence systems integrated with quantum processors can predict human behavior with remarkable accuracy, enabling preemptive action against potential threats to royal authority. These predictive capabilities extend to economic markets, political movements, and social trends. Nanotechnology deployed through various vectors, including food supplies, medical treatments, and environmental exposure, creates monitoring networks within human bodies. These microscopic devices could theoretically influence thoughts, emotions, and physical health. Satellite systems provide global surveillance capabilities that extend beyond visible light to include thermal, electromagnetic, and quantum signatures. No location on Earth remains hidden from this comprehensive monitoring network. Communication networks have been designed to facilitate surveillance while maintaining the appearance of privacy and security. Encryption systems contain hidden backdoors that enable royal intelligence access to any digital communication. The integration of these technologies creates a control system that approaches omniscience and omnipresence, providing an immortal ruler with capabilities that exceed traditional concepts of governmental power. Chapter 22. The Human Response. Despite overwhelming technological advantages held by immortal royal power, human resistance continues developing innovative responses that exploit the fundamental weaknesses of artificial systems. These efforts represent hope for breaking technological tyranny. Biological immunity to nanotechnology surveillance has been developed through natural methods that enhance human cellular resistance to artificial intrusion. These techniques, based on ancient spiritual practices and modern nutritional science, could provide protection against technological monitoring. Consciousness expansion practices enable individuals to operate beyond the predictive capabilities of artificial intelligence systems. Enhanced human awareness, achieved through meditation and spiritual development, creates unpredictable behavior patterns that confuse technological surveillance. Electromagnetic shielding technologies protect sensitive equipment and communications from royal monitoring systems. These defenses, developed by resistance engineers, create secure zones where human activity can occur without technological interference. Decentralized networks operating through mesh communication systems bypass traditional internet infrastructure controlled by royal intelligence. These alternative networks enable coordination of resistance activities without detection by centralized monitoring. Biological enhancement techniques, developed independently of royal programs, could potentially create humans capable of competing with technologically enhanced beings. These natural methods focus on spiritual and consciousness development rather than artificial modification. The human response recognizes that defeating technological tyranny requires evolution beyond current limitations, while maintaining essential human characteristics that artificial systems cannot replicate. The ultimate revelation of immortal royal control and the human response to technological tyranny will determine whether civilization evolves toward freedom or remains trapped in artificial systems designed to maintain eternal rule by enhanced beings. If resistance movements succeed in exposing and defeating royal enhancement programs, humanity could enter an era of unprecedented freedom and natural development. The technologies developed for control could be redirected toward beneficial applications that enhance human capabilities without compromising free will. Alternatively, failure of resistance efforts could result in the expansion of immortal rule to include additional enhanced beings, creating a permanent technological aristocracy that governs normal humans as a managed species. This scenario would represent the end of human freedom and natural evolution. The spiritual dimensions of this conflict suggest that the outcome depends not only on technological capabilities, but also on divine intervention and human spiritual awakening. The battle between artificial immortality and natural spiritual development represents a fundamental choice about the direction of consciousness evolution. Future generations will inherit either a world of technological freedom or technological slavery, depending on the success of current resistance efforts. The decisions made in this critical period will echo through centuries of human development. The Immortal Queen scenario, whether ultimately proven true or false, serves as a warning about the dangers of concentrated power and advanced technology. It reminds us that eternal vigilance remains the price of freedom, especially as technological capabilities continue expanding beyond traditional human limitations. The future remains unwritten, but the choices made today will determine whether humanity evolves toward greater freedom or deeper enslavement to technological systems that serve immortal rulers rather than human flourishing.